What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss everything going on here in our country that you need to know about here on a daily basis. We got some major things to cover here. First, Russia is forced to let UN inspectors into the massive nuclear power plant to prevent a nuclear catastrophe. We'll give you an update on that because this could actually cause a nuclear meltdown larger than what we've seen in Chernobyl. We also could have one of the largest Social Security raises that we have ever seen in the history of Social Security. We'll go over the details on that. We got a lot to go over here in this video, including will there be more stimulus relief for tens of millions of Americans? And I got some more details on that here as well. So let's jump right in. And if you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel yet, make sure to click the subscribe button down below and the bell icon. It's completely free to do so. This way you won't miss out on new videos that come out here every day on our YouTube channel. And you can support us by simply giving us a thumbs up down below. Here we go. Okay, first up, Russia is kind of being forced to allow UN inspectors to be granted access into the Ukrainian nuclear facility to prevent a nuclear catastrophe and meltdown. That's right, take a look.
United Nations inspectors heading into the war zone to try to prevent a nuclear catastrophe in Ukraine and really across Europe. They've arrived in the city of Zaporizhia to inspect Europe's largest nuclear power plant. For months now, Russian troops have occupied that plant, allegedly forcing the staff to work at gunpoint. Ukrainian officials have accused the Russians of turning the nuclear power plant into a veritable military base and using it as a shield to launch artillery strikes and hide military vehicles inside, because the Ukrainians obviously can't fire back. NBC's Josh Letterman was in Zaporizhia as the inspectors arrived today.
For weeks, the international community has been demanding that UN nuclear inspectors be granted access to the Zaporizhia nuclear power plant. And today, we watched the convoy of UN vehicles rolling into Zaporizhia as they prepare for a perilous last leg of the journey to the power plant in Russian-occupied territory, where there has been shelling for weeks. And I spoke with the Director General of the IAEA, Rafael Grossi, as he arrived here, and he told me he's confident they can carry out this mission safely. He also told me that despite any potential efforts by Russia to conceal what's been going on there, he is confident that they will have a very good sense of what the situation is by the time they finish this mission, which Grossi says he expects will take several days, with the IAEA also hoping over the longer term to establish a permanent presence here so that the world has eyes and ears on what has turned into a major flashpoint in the war in Ukraine. Do you believe that the Russians will let you see what's really happening at the plant?
Well, we are a team of very experienced people. I'm bringing here the best and the brightest in safeguards, in safety, in security, and we will have a pretty good idea of what's going on.
This nuclear crisis playing out just north of where Ukraine has launched a major counteroffensive to start to reclaim territory in the south of Ukraine and push the Russians out of the area of Kherson. Russia claiming today that it has been an unsuccessful counteroffensive so far, but Ukraine says that it's going all according to plan. Shep?
Josh Letterman in Zaporizhia for us.
Yeah, so imagine that. The Russians hiding equipment inside, military trucks inside, so that the Ukrainians can't fire back because the nuclear facility's in there, forcing the workers at gunpoint to work. I mean, really, they have to work so that there's not a meltdown either way. And then they try to accuse the Ukrainians that the Ukrainians are firing at their own facility to try to cause a meltdown. Russian propaganda at its finest. Like, yeah, okay, the Ukrainians are trying to melt down their own facility in Ukraine and cause a meltdown on their own soil. All right. Does anybody think that makes any sense at all? Just look at it as at a realistic point of view, as a realist. Yeah, I don't think anybody thinks that makes any sense at all, but you can let me know your thoughts in the comments. But this is the problem here, is that we're over 6 months now of this going on and no end in sight. Let me know your thoughts here. This has also caused natural gas prices all across the world, including the United States here, to now spike at a 14-year high. As we get close to the winter months going here, expect high natural gas prices if you use natural gas to heat your home. We could be in for very high prices here this winter. This is because Russia has cut off natural gas. They're one of the largest world's suppliers, number two or number three, world's largest suppliers, depending on them and Saudi Arabia go back and forth with number two and number three. Well, they have completely cut off a lot of supply to Europe, and this has sent natural gas prices spiking here over the last month or so. And so this has caused the price worldwide of natural gas to go really high, like a 14, 15-year high here. So even though the US doesn't buy any natural gas from Russia, the world has seen natural gas prices go really, really high, like a 15-year high. And I don't know if we'll see them go down by the time winter comes, but right now they're very, very expensive. And this is how the war in Russia, I know that some people don't want to believe this, but this is exactly how the war in Russia affects us here. This is why we've seen gas. The minute Putin put 100,000 plus troops on the border of Ukraine before he even attacked, this is why gas and diesel, the price shot up and went up for months and months and months. Okay. Now we're seeing the same thing with natural gas. Okay. He basically shocked the system with natural gas. He basically cut the supply to most of Europe, and it shocked the system because natural gas is what they use for a lot of power plants and power grids and home heating in Europe and the United States. And now all these countries are scrambling, saying, well, we need it. Where are we going to get it from? And so now the price of natural gas has skyrocketed up, up, up. So now everybody's like, yeah. This is why, honestly, the world needs more solar, wind power, and nuclear power. As long as they're not getting attacked by a foreign country, nuclear power is relatively safe as long as you don't have issues like that. If you don't do nuclear power, nuclear is a little bit controversial only when you have issues like this. Without that, I mean, you look at the United States, really haven't had any nuclear issues. It's a clean energy source, no pollution at all, and very, very cheap. So, yeah, you can let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Same thing with wind, same thing with solar. Once you put those things up, they just make energy every single day. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Next up, how big a Social Security COLA, cost of living adjustment raise, can retirees expect in 2023? Now that we are in September, we're going to be getting the September reading here soon in a matter of days. You can see here from Market Watch, highly likely that benefits will increase by more than 9%. That's right. Yeah, this is because the cost of living adjustment is based on July, August, and September readings. We'll be getting the August readings here in a few days. I'll keep you up to date here on our channel when we get them. And then the Social Security Administration and the government will average the three and then spit out a number and give it to us for the Social Security cost of living adjustment raise. Last year was 5.9%. This year could be, based on what that article said, could be 9% or higher. So just for example, last year was 5.9%. We'll round that to 6%. Okay, half of 6% would be 3%. 6 plus 3 would be 9%. So that would be 50% more than last year, 9%. So that would be a significant increase, 50% more than last year if we got 9%. So I know it might not sound like a lot more, but that's a 50% increase versus last year So I will keep you up to date here. We also have some significant bills in Congress that they're looking at right now. Number one is a Social Security increase of a massive $2,400 increase could be on the way for recipients. I'll zoom this in here. You can see several members of Congress are hoping to pass the Social Security Expansion Act, which would expand benefits by $200 per month for any recipient as senior citizens grapple with roaring inflation. This would be on top of the COLA raise, the cost of living adjustment. This would be in addition. This is a bill that has been introduced by Democratic Representatives Peter DeFazio from Oregon and Senator Bernie Sanders, independent from Vermont. The bill would amount to a roughly 12% boost for the typical senior, amounting to an average $1,658 check. Again, that's the average amount based on what the average person gets, so kind of disregard that. And a $2,400 annual increase. That is the more better number to look at because it's a $200 per month increase by Senator Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders says, quote, at a time when half of older Americans have no retirement savings and millions of senior citizens are living in poverty, our job is not to cut Social Security. Our job must be to expand Social Security so that every senior citizen in America can retire with dignity they deserve, and every person with a disability can live with the security they need. To fund this, the Social Security Expansion Act would lift the income cap for payroll taxes. This means that high income earners that earn above $250,000 would start paying into Social Security again. This is because people stop paying into Social Security once they make over $147,000. Okay. So this means that people that make like $1 million a year, or $2 million a year, or $50 million a year, or $1 billion a year, they only pay Social Security payroll tax up to $147,000 and no more, no matter if they make $1 million a year, or $10 million a year, or $1 billion a year. Okay. This new bill would make them pay Social Security tax on everything over $250,000. Okay. So they would pay into Social Security, and all that extra money would go into the Social Security pot and would fund Social Security. Supporters of the bill include Sanders and DeFazio argue that 93% of households would not experience a tax increase to support the expansion. Also, the Social Security Administration, their accounting, their math department, like their Congressional Budget Office, did the math on this and said that it would increase the solvency for 75 years. So, and remember, they're not partisan, they're not Democratic, they're not Republican, they're not independent, they're just math people, they're just accountants. And they did the math projections on this based on the money that would be coming in and the extra benefits that they would be paying out. And they said that they'd be able to pay out these extra benefits and increase the solvency. So there's three different bill proposals that are kind of similar, paying out the extra $200, and another bill proposal pays out $200 extra a month and increases benefits to 125% of the federal poverty level. Okay, so that's an important one as well. As you can see here, the federal poverty level for 2022 is 1,300, I'm sorry, $13,590 for the year. 13,590. You divide that by 12, comes out to $1,132 a month. They want to make it 125% of that. 1 times 1.25. So they want to make the payouts for Social Security a minimum of $1,415 a month with one of the bills that are in Congress. Okay, and again, they would pay for this with the aforementioned, uh, wealthy people making over $250,000 would pay into to Social Security. Okay, so people that get Social Security, and everybody under the Social Security umbrella would be able to get this payments of $1,415 as the minimum payout. And so this on a yearly basis is about $17,000 a year. So you might think that's a lot. You might think that's a little. You divide that by 12 again. $1,400 a month is really not a lot. It's really not a lot because nowadays Rent.com just did a average rent price across the United States here. They just did an update here on this, and this is what the average rent cost is for a one bedroom in the United States. To rent a one bedroom apartment is $1,770 here in the U.S. and $2,100 for a two bedroom. This doesn't include you, utilities, electric. I mean, maybe you get gas included or something like that, but it surely doesn't include food. It surely doesn't include a car. It surely doesn't include health care. It surely doesn't include paying for children. It surely doesn't include anything else, right? So even if we look at just a one bedroom, 1770 a month, I mean, if you're a senior and you've lived your whole life, making $1,415 a month as the minimum, this should be a no-brainer, guys. I mean, if you've worked your whole life and you're now supposed to be in your golden years and retired and looking forward to retirement, maybe want to travel a little bit, live life a little bit, as Senator Bernie Sanders says, be able to live with a little bit of dignity, this should at least be the bare minimum. Nobody should be making less than this with inflation the way it is today. I mean, you let me know your thoughts here in the comments if you think differently. I think this at the bare minimum should be the minimum on this. And this is one of the things they're going to be taking up in Congress here now. And I think they're going to be putting this to a vote here and seeing who's for it and who's not. Because the problem here is that whoever's not, maybe they need to be voted out because if they're not, what are they for? If they're not for our seniors, and if it's a money thing, if it's a money thing there, these politicians, they'll ask you for money when they're up for reelection, right? When it comes to for reelection, they'll ask you for donations. Oh, support us, support our campaign. We'll help you out. But when it comes time to, you need help out, we're all going to be seniors at some point. I mean, I'm not there quite yet. I'm going to be 42 years old. My mom's there. My mom's 75. My dad's there. My dad's 72. My wife's parents are there. I mean, we all want to be there. I hope to make it there one day. But if you're already there, I mean, this should be the bare minimum. And if our congressmen, our elected officials are not going to pass something like this, why are they elected officials? And don't forget, they took trillions of dollars from Social Security years ago when the politicians they just couldn't help themselves from, basically taking our money from the Social Security Trust Fund. Okay. Remember, they just pillaged it like a bunch of pirates, right? And now that, they say that Social Security is going to be insolvent in 13 years, all that really means is that they're not going to be able to pay out 100% of the benefits, that they're going to start being able to slightly reduce benefits, okay? But this is one way that they can extend the solvency by 75 years and increase benefits, okay? There's no reason that they shouldn't be able to do this, okay? And don't forget that they take money out of our paychecks for Social Security, every paycheck, okay? So if you work for 20, 30, 40, 50 years and you expect a return on your money, right? So you not only expect a return on your money, but you expect it to be solvent. You expect to get your money back, and you expect it to be like worthwhile. You expect it to be like if you put money in Social Security for 30 or 40 years, it should be at least able to pay for a one bedroom apartment and like some food. Am I right or am I wrong? And if not, Congress should give Social Security a bailout. They got money for bailouts for airlines and banks and car companies, GM and Ford. When they're in trouble, they all get bailouts. But when seniors and Social Security is in trouble, what? No bailout for them? They want to cut benefits instead? Sorry, guys, that's not, we're gonna give a bailout to airlines and everybody else, but not the seniors, the actual people, the people who live and die and breathe and ran this company or this country. And again, we're all gonna be seniors at some point. I'm not quite there yet, but I plan to be one day. So I mean, let me know your thoughts here in the comments. Let me know if you think differently. I think this should be the bare minimum. And again, Social Security hasn't been overhauled in a long time. I think it's time for some action. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to subscribe down below. These are bills that easily could be passed, and subscribing is completely free to do so. Click the bell icon after you subscribe so you get notifications. I will keep you up to date here on the status of these bills in Congress and also stimulus bills that are going on here. There's about 25 different states here that are passing or have already passed stimulus checks and tax rebate checks in states right now. That's right. There's a lot of states that are passing stimulus checks and things like that. Of course, we have the big, massive student loan forgiveness as well going on right now, $10,000 to $20,000 for 43 million people as well. I'll keep you up to date on everything going on here in our country on our YouTube channel. So subscribe, click the bell icon so you get notifications, and I'll keep you up to date. You can click here to watch my newest video next, and you can click here to see my newest stimulus check video going on here in multiple different states and areas of our country. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.